Premier League spent a lot of money this season, and the total amount the Premier League spent during the market time was 3.19 billion pounds for the whole players that was signed in. Both Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, Newcastle. So we have to for the first person on the list for us to talk about today is nobody but Hugo Ekitike, okay, who came from Frankfurt to Liverpool. One thing that was not in short supply for Premier League club this summer was money, because looking at the money they punched in players is massive. Okay, it's massive, and we cannot say that we are not seeing this in terms of um the figure we are seeing here, and this figure is compared to other leagues, which is like that figure more than Bundesliga, La Liga, and League One and Serie A clubs spent combined, including Liverpool, spending 415 million pounds, and Chelsea spending approximately 285 million pounds, and Arsenal splashing out 255 million pounds, and Manchester United spending 216 million pounds on the new faces of these players. But I have the top 11: Joao Pedro, and Martin Zubimendi, both cost around 60 million. Most expensive signing hits the ground running. And who is it? How do they rank on daily sports? Ranking, we see that we cannot justify it with what some of the players that they signed in, some are superseding each other. But this is just few weeks of kickstarting the league. But at the same time, we're going to look into the first person we're seeing here is Eketike. He was signed in from Frankfurt for the amount of 79 million pounds. And on this game, he have been able to score few goals on his first starting of his games, and he have been able to do this with no pressure. It looked like for this moment in Liverpool, Ekitike is kind of doing the job that Liverpool are expecting than his colleague Isak. But are we going to blame Isak? No, we are not going to blame Isak. This is football. It happens to many big players. Whenever most of them goes to this big money transfer, many of them flop. But it's too early to judge him. But this is the statistics that was provided for us for we to look into. And the Newcastle was able to bring in Nicky Watamendi from Bundesliga after selling Isak to Liverpool. And he have been able to come out with few goals. Looking at the goal he scored against Northern Forest last weekend. He was able to come up with courage enough to take on the penalty and he scored. And another person we are looking at here is Martin Ozomendi for Arsenal, who came from Bristol side to Arsenal with the amount of 60 million euros. And over the time, it looked like they are missing something, Arsenal. But then they went ahead to bring on Ebere Chieze from Crystal Palace to Arsenal for the amount of £67.5 million. And since then, they feel complete because it looked like it's the one of the most astonishing signing of the season for Arsenal after rejecting Chelsea and choose Arsenal. So now we look at what Brian Mbamo came into Manchester United from Brentford with 71 million pounds. And how have been his performance? His assist for Mountain Open versus Sunderland. It look, if you look by Brian, in those moments when we are struggling, which is Man United, you seem to be a different guy to be compared to the rest of the team. That's what the coach said, which is Amore. And we can also go down to see what Victor Gyökeres, who came from Sporting League in Portugal to Arsenal, England, with the amount of 64 million pounds. And so far, so good. Arsenal is enjoying his time, what he's bringing to the team, his contribution. Um, he has 3 goals scored all competition this season, one of which was a penalty, and it's safe to say more is expected from him. And we move forward to see Joao Pedro, who came from Brighton to Chelsea with an amount of 60 million pounds. And since then, so far so good. Um, Chelsea is enjoying his time after um, joining Chelsea, and he have been able to register um, with 2 goals and 3 assists, and which is why above the players ranked low. Goal involvement came in the same game versus West Ham, and playing centre forward is hurting the players and the team as it continually loses a match loses number of duels. But Chelsea to believe in him to move forward. We have to also look Benjamin Sesko, who came from Bundesliga to Manchester United with a amount of 73.3 million pounds. And the 22-year-old coming have not really given Man United the excitement of their expectation. But it's not because I feel like Amari have not given him much time to play. And Manchester United is still believing that he should be able to come to the level of the expectation that the fans are expecting from him. So here we also look into Alexander Isak, who came from Newcastle to Liverpool after having a wonderful performance for Newcastle, giving them their first trophy last season, executing it mostly like by himself, not like by himself, with the team, but he is the forefront, with a whopping of £125 million from Newcastle to Liverpool. After since he moved in, he feel good. He said he had been working hard to get back to the best and still working to get back to his best from but it was good to play out there again. And Liverpool are still expecting to see the best of Isak in Liverpool. And Manchester United also went ahead to purchase a player called Matthews Tuna uh, with 62.5 million pounds, from Wolf United to Manchester United. Since he joined Manchester United, um, he have a little lower stats, and the coach said that he's not really impressive with it, but he believe in him. He bought him, and he is believing that he's going to come to the best of his form, just picking up, and injury have not really helped him too. So um, he went injury and taking short time out of the side after going down against Burnley, and he's yet to record a goal or assist through the minutes he have played in Premier League as a Manchester United player. He has a real battle on his hand, and they started with Mason Mount for escalating. And now we have to look into the great Liverpool signing of Vlarin Vets, who came from Bayern Leverkusen to Liverpool with a whopping amount of 116 million pounds, both of the crisis of the class and by some distance. Vets is not a bad player, but obvious when you move clubs for 116 million, but in the bid to get into um, his team, Liverpool side has lost balance and ultimately lost its way. And the fans are not happy with his performance, his contribution, and his effort. They expect him to work harder to to give them his best and the expectation of the amount they spend on him. So I feel really sorry about Vet and what he's contributing to Liverpool, and the Liverpool fans are not really happy with what he's giving them for now. So this is what we're talking about for players and clubs who go diving into players with big monies, expecting them to give them everything. This happened to Barcelona a few years ago when we had our previous president in charge, Babatenos, who spent much money in signing players with big names. But when they came to Barcelona, they did not really succeed. They flopped out. I pray Liverpool should not go into this recession of their players they spend so much on, not giving them what they're expecting. Their expectations for these players is to win trophies for them, is to be able to be fit, to be able to participate in all games and give their 100% and delivered victories to Liverpool. So you can imagine the amount Liverpool have put in place in purchasing these players. Vets taking 116 million, but with overall we are hearing about 150. But the conclusion is 116 million pounds, and Isak coming in with 125. This is a very big money from these players. Ekitike coming with 93 million pounds. This is a huge amount of money. We wish Liverpool all the best, and we want them to the manager to be able to manage them, because it's one thing for manager to be able to manage players, especially when these players are not easy to be managed. But you are the coach, you have a job to do, and that job is to be able to manage your players, being able to play them to the right wing, being able to play them at the right time, being able to substitute them out, being able to manage them so that they will not get injuries. So I believe that slots have a lot of job to do, and the job begins now because the fan base of Liverpool are getting aggressive and getting angry with the performance of losing 3 matches, and they expect and coming down from the table, and Arsenal climbing up on the table, and they expect more. The point here is that Liverpool is expecting more and demanding more. So Slots have a job to do, and you have to kickstart your job. You bought these players. You told the board of directors that you need money to buy these players, and offer you this money. You bought these players. There should not be any excuses that you shouldn't use them. You should be able to use them in a meaningful way that will benefit the club and the fans will be happy to see them starting performing to the expectation. So, Slots, you have a job to do. Go do your job to avoid losing your job, because there's no excuse here. This is not the time of last season you used the previous manager's players to win Premier League. Now you went to the market and purchased these players, so you should be able to use them without no excuse. Any conflict, any misunderstanding, anything going on in the team, you should be able to resolve it with the team and be able to move forward to the success of the club. Cheers.